Okay, so today's video is about Fortnite Save the World and why you should be playing Fortnite Save the World. So, if you didn't know, it's the player versus environment version of Fortnite. Fortnite Battle Royale is the obviously very popular version of player versus player. Both games have been around for about 3 years. Save the World is slightly older by a few months. And there are several really important reasons why you should be playing it, especially if you play Battle Royale. So the first reason is actually quite a simple one, which is the cost. So if you want to get Fortnite Save the World now, it comes every 2 months in a different kind of pack. And at the minute it's called the Samurai Scrapper Pack. So it's about $16, and as it says in the list of bits and pieces, you get access to Fortnite Save the World's Player vs Environment campaign, which I'm going to show you a bit more of in a second. You get a hero, which is usually worth maybe 1,000 V-Bucks depending on the hero. You get an outfit that's available in all different modes. You get back bling. You get a weapon schematic you can use in Save the World. And then you get an extra 1,000 V-Bucks if you do a few simple challenges. And to be honest, they're pretty simple. And likewise, you get 1,000 of these extra tokens, which I'm going to talk about in a second, if you don't know what they are. And, you know, $16, not too bad, especially when you look at the pricing. So if you look here, $8 is 1,000 V-Bucks. So in this pack here, you get 1,000 V-Bucks straight off. So that's half the price is already paid for back in the V-Bucks you get, which you would use in Fortnite Battle Royale. The second thing is you get the hero skin, the Samurai Scrapper skin, which again, as I said, is like 1,000 usually. It's like between 800 and 1,200 V-Bucks. It depends on the quality of the skin and all that kind of thing. And so it's probably, just with those two bits alone, is already pretty close to the $16. And then if you add in, of course, Fortnite Save the World is a free bit. If you add in the fact that you have 1,000 X-ray tokens, and X-ray tokens are, I'm just going here to X-ray, they are shown here, so these are X-ray tokens here, and you can use them to buy different packs inside Fortnite Save the World. So you can get free schematic, you can use schematics, you can get heroes, and you can get survivors, and all of these things then add to your experience in Fortnite Save the World. So it's basically, if you like the hero especially, free, because you already pay the $16 to get your V-Bucks and your hero already, and then you get the game free. So really, there's almost no questions to why you should get it. Now, if we look into the parts of the game, you can just quickly look at the map, and if we just go to start off with Stonewood. So Stonewood is where you start the game off at. Zoom out a little bit, you can see there are a whole bunch of missions, right? And then you can just go back again to this bit, and you can go to the next area, which is Plankerton, and you can see there's a whole bunch of missions again. And these refresh every single day. They're different types of missions, be it just very simple 10-minute eliminations, 10-minute resupplies. We could collect certain things, building radars, saving survivors, finding the storm, which is basically a kind of tower defense game if you've not tried it yet. Your own storm shield, which is your own base, which you can build and protect. There are huge numbers of missions. And in fact, if you just go to the quests, which are based around this, you can see just for County Valley, which is the area I'm up to, the third world of 4 alone, there's 19 pages with 3 to 4 missions. There it is, sorry. 3 to 4 missions per page. And each one you get rewards for, again, which add to your experience. So, the game itself, I mean, I've been playing for just a little bit less than 3 months, and I've been playing probably 2 hours, maybe a night, 3 hours a night, depending on average, maybe 2 hours a night, I guess. And if you think about it, I mean, it's 160 hours already for $16, where I also got V-Bucks, which I could use on bits inside Battle Royale, plus add in the fact that the game itself is a lot of fun. It's already great. Then we can look into the management side of the game. So the game actually has a huge management part. In the heroes, in the survivors, and in the equipment you can use. So the heroes first, you can see this is my hero loadout here. These guys in the background. But you can collect a whole bunch of different heroes. We just pick kind of outlanders because I'm pretty keen on them particularly. And then you can just look at the heroes and you can see the bonuses. Each one has different bonuses. And then if you use different characters together in your team, they give you different added perks, and then the whole team together can mean very specific loadouts. If you look here, this is the one I'm using right now, and it's got several different ones of the dino type perk here. But then you can see that this one heals that, or this one here is increasing the attack efficiency or basically decreasing the cost in terms of energy, that kind of thing. So there's a huge bunch of management. You can set different loadouts depending on what kind of characters you want to use. This one's my constructor one, I got built up at the minute. This one's my soldier one. You see I'm using slightly different heroes in the background, depending on which exact loadout I'm going for. This is my ninja one. So there's a huge amount of optimization and specialization and making exactly the kind of game way you want to play the game as it is. Then you can send people off on expeditions, so you can just as a management bit send some characters you're not going to use off and get them to do different things, which of course you can get different rewards for. You can then set up your survivors. So survivors you set up into squads, and the squads basically help buff your statistics. So for example, if you want shield bonuses, we're going to click this one here. This one increases your fortitude, which is basically your health. So my health has been increased by 423% basically from what the base health is, which is cool. And then you can pick them, and you can see here, for example, my lead survivor is adventurous and he's a doctor. And then you can make sure you match all the same personality, and you can do that for each of the different kind of groups here. And if I just pull this across a bit, you know, say the assault squad, which of course buffs your offense, which increases your damage. You can do the same against this kind of competitively, mythically, which is really cool. So they all have different bits again, and you can change. If I just click here, you can see all the different survivors I've got, and you can level them, and you can use different ones with different perks, because they all have secondary perks. You can see here, just go back here, you can see shield bonus, trap ability damage, and you can try and get them all lined up perfectly together if you can. Then we have weapons. So again, weapons is much like heroes and survivors. Again, it kind of tunes the game to the way you want to play. So we've got different types of assault rifle or shotgun or semi-automatic or bow and arrow if you want. This one, one of my favorite weapon of all, probably the favorite weapon in the game, is the atomizer. Is sort of like massively explosive damage, and I'll show it at some point because it's by far the best weapon I've ever used. But you know, at the same time, if you want to use a melee weapon, you can use a sword, lots of swords and scythes and spears. I particularly love this one. I'm going to show this one again at some point because this is, I can see I've modded it a little bit as well, even though I'm only partway through the game, because it is by far my favorite melee weapon. But you know, there's a huge choice in the way you want to play the game. Even in traps, the way you want to set up tower defenses. Do you want to use cannons? Do you want to use just electric dynamos that electrify just near you? Do you want to fire wall darts? Do you want to use floor spikes? Or do you want to drop traps on them? Do you use sound walls which make them dance and stand still so you can hit them and stun them? Do you want to use flat spikes rather than retractable spikes? You know, the choice is yours, and you can go in many different ways. And again, with each of these traps which is going here, you can also modify the actual perks, and you can then further change how you want to do it. So I don't necessarily have the best perks set up for this trap, but you can see already just from this one here, you could have durability, but you could also make it critical or just plain damage. If you want just flat damage added to your trap. So there is a huge amount of personalization, if you will, that makes the game specific to you. There's collecting abilities, so this is a bit more like a Pokemon type thing where you can collect different things, and you get rewards up at the top here based on how you collect things in your Pokemon. Of course, once you collect them, you can't use them, so you have to balance whether you want to keep them in your actual inventory, so to speak, rather than put them in the storage. But the storage gives you rewards, so it's that kind of balance again to how you do things. So, onto the actual game itself as well. We have the normal areas. For Stormwood is Area 1, all the way through to Twine Peaks, which is Area 4, the last part of the game. However, they are now trying to introduce two different things in particular in the game's first dungeon. So these are just set areas. They take about 10 minutes, they can take 5, they can take 15, depending on how good you are at each of these things. But just small areas that are really specific to, in particular, we're talking about Halloween, right? Because we're in October. And then we've also, over here, got Adventure Zones. So Adventure Zones are, I guess, the new thing that they're trying to include in the game more recently, which is you get reset back down to level 1, essentially, and you have a new set of rewards you get as you go through the levels. And they're giving out incredibly good rewards, such as hero vouchers that allow you to buy any hero in the game that you want, or weapons vouchers, or the ability to over level a character, so once it gets to the max level can you actually give extra stars on top of his normal level. So the game itself could literally take you hundreds of hours. I know that there is some criticism at the end game because once you get to Twine Peaks, not Twine, where we go, I've lost it. There we go. Once you get to Twine Peaks, the game does kind of struggle a little bit with the end game content, and actually the best end game content then is Ventures, and Ventures resets you back down to 1 and doesn't allow you to use your base equipment that you already have. So is it worthwhile? However, to get there it's going to take you months, if not almost years. So I guess the last couple of things that are important. First is actually about the way the game works. So you can play the game solo, you can actually do it just as yourself on your own, or you can play it with other people, and it's really easy to hook up with friends on Epic. People in general, you can leave your game open. So if I just flick over here, there's options here. I'm going to set it private, but you can flick it with either public, so anyone can join your mission if they want to, or friends. If you just want only a select few to join. Of course, you can be completely private and just do it solo, like I've done sometimes before for some missions. But the game allows up to 3 other people inside missions with you, and I play most nights with other people because, to be honest, completely playing solo is not that much fun on its own. And then I guess the last thing that's important is actually how the game works. So if we just go into my Storm Shield, so this is my home base, so to speak, and we'll launch it. Hopefully it won't take more than 20 minutes to load, but if we just get it there eventually, you'll see that the game engine is actually incredibly similar to that of Battle Royale. So hopefully, let's wait till finally ticking down. There we go. Okay, and here we are. We've loaded in. It only took like 20 minutes. No, it didn't. It took like 5 minutes at most. 3 minutes. So, and you can see that the game engine is pretty much the same as the Battle Royale menu. It has a few small changes. You can't crouch because the same button is used for repairing things. But you get the same building. You can see this building a little bit jumpy there. You can see the same buildings. This is my base I've set up relatively nicely. I mean, it's not quite finished yet the way I want it, but you know, it's getting there. And you can use weapons in the same way as Battle Royale. You can use special abilities, which is definitely not in Battle Royale. It's spin kicks and so on. I know there are other, I guess, class abilities like double jumps for ninjas or anti-material charges for Outlanders. So the game itself plays pretty much the same as Battle Royale, and it makes it really no choice at all as to where you should be playing Fortnite Save the World, especially if you play Fortnite Battle Royale. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if so, leave a comment below, and next time I'll probably be talking about heroes and starting getting into the nitty gritty of the game. So thanks for watching.